first issue of InvestOR Regret, my LinkedIn newsletter dedicated to exploring the multifaceted world of investing. And also drawing from my personal experiences, we aim to guide you through the complexities of financial growth. Today, I'm going to discuss 3 lessons I learned from my first investment and its significant failure because I struck out on my first investment. So what are the 3 things I want to talk about today? A, fear of missing out. 2, lack of education and knowledge about investments. And 3, not knowing when to exit an investment. So let's talk about the fear of missing out. Let's rewind the clock. 1999, the tech sector is booming. I've recently graduated college, and I've watched as my peers, all armed with degrees in computer science, electrical engineering, they're quickly becoming wealthy, at least on paper. And as a civil engineer, humorously, we're always deemed quote unquote dumb civils compared to our friends who, again, CS majors, chemical engineers, or electrical engineers. The joke for us was in order to graduate, you need to understand 3 things. You can't push on a rope, dirt and water equals mud, and shit flows downhill. So here I am feeling the need that I need to get in the game. And I'm feeling pressured to participate and overcome my FOMO. So I took 2 years of savings at the time, which was $5,000. And at that time, I was making 35 grand out of college, which I thought was a lot of money. And I invested it in a booming company called WorldCom. And during this time, WorldCom stock was skyrocketing. And many were on, as it was also on the verge of acquiring Sprint, I believe. And it seemed like a sure bet. Unfortunately, if you're younger and you may not know, WorldCom went belly up. And they were Enron before Enron. So let's just say this investment did not end well as WorldCom collapsed. And looking back, serious lessons learned for me. 1, going back to that fear of missing out, as my FOMO was strong. Now the Force little Star Wars there, but I was trying to match my friend's success without truly understanding the investment. Now, and looking back, this experience made me hesitant to invest again for several years. This likely saved me from further mistakes, but it also kept me from exploring potential opportunities like real estate, which I was doing every single day of my life because it seemed too costly, especially early in my career. And when I look back and I see today, the echoes of the tech bubble are visible in the real estate boom. On forums and message boards, every other post pertains to investors wanting to get into real estate, and the fear of missing out has pushed many into precarious investment positions. We're seeing gurus teaching investors who are not qualified to buy a home to try and acquire them with little or no money down using, catchphrases like creative financing strategies, which for many will lead to significant failures, which is based on my next topic, which is being uneducated and lacking experience, which 25 years ago, I was uneducated and lacked experience. I assumed WorldCom would be the next big thing. Despite what appeared to be thorough research, I was inexperienced, and the information available to me was also tainted by corporate fraud. But I also never invested in stocks before, and the research I performed was probably the equivalent to, the education you receive from like your first week of an introductory collegiate course. Additionally, I was investing all my savings into one single stock, which demonstrated a complete lack of diversification and experience. But I thought at the time, hey, I'm in my 20s and let's go for broke. And broke is where it actually led me. But today, as a gray-haired CEO, I think I've learned to seek advice and leverage the knowledge of more experienced professionals, either those within the team that I've built or external resources. But, reverting back to today again, being uneducated and lacking experience can place novices in very precarious positions, particularly evident in today's real estate, markets. As an investor, I've learned to prioritize experience of the sponsor. For me, much like selecting a pilot for a flight. While a novice pilot possesses the necessary training and skills, in turbulent weather or mechanical difficulties, the seasoned pilot's experience provides undeniable comfort and security. This preference for experience is analogous to most business practice hirings. You know, we invariably value proven experience over those without experience. Real estate's no different, where the stakes are high and it is very complex. The value of experience can't be overstated. Novice investors and sponsors can indeed succeed, but given the choice when choosing a sponsor, for me as a passive investor in offerings, I lean towards that experience every day, as it often makes the critical decision between navigating safely through those storms or potential issues. Now, the third, and this completely goes to stroking somebody's ego, but is knowing when to fold, knowing when to get out of a bad deal. As WorldCom stock was plummeted, I held on, hoping for a rebound that never came. I was naive, but losing it all taught me the value of acknowledging a bad investment early on. My experience showed, as I kept thinking it would turn around. For those in real estate, many think they can turn around an underperforming property. Have you ever had an underperforming property? I have. Rarely, if ever, do they turn around. Today, we're seeing a significant increase in capital calls on office, multifamily, self-storage, all these types of investments. Now, how many capital calls have you been a part of that have turned around? While it is a tough, proverbial pill to swallow, I've learned from this. Today, in my current role, again, as the CEO of a mortgage note fund, we face underperforming assets, but we take emotion out of that situation, which a lot of people unfortunately put too much emotion into that situation, and learn to, exit the asset and sometimes even cut losses early in reallocating those resources and dollars for a more prominent and promising investment. It's a critical skill that is also not taught, but unfortunately only learned. Well, it's a wrap today for talking more about my issue number 2 of striking out on my first investment. If you want to learn more about my journey or my co-founder Lawrence, check us out at 70investments.com/webinars, where we tell a lot of our stories of how we got into real estate, the mistakes we've made, where things have gone well. And as always, your thoughts and feedback are incredibly valuable to us. So hope you find some inspiration and valuable information in each and every issue that we publish. And I encourage you to share your thoughts, stories, and questions. Have a good one.